Hello, class 7. Here we are looking at the definition of corresponding angles. Now we specifically look at corresponding angles in parallel lines. So for this one, let's have a look here. I've got some parallel lines here. Here's a parallel line. It's been cut by what they call a transversal. Now parallel lines are usually shown they're parallel because they both have an arrow on them. So these ones are parallel. Now corresponding angles are what we sometimes call F angles. Now there's one here and there's one here. Now the reason they may get called an F angle, it's not a maths term, but the reason we do that is if you sort of look along where the corresponding angles are and the parallel lines, it sort of makes an F. Now there is more than one set of corresponding angles. That's one there, and there's one here just below the parallel lines. And they're on the same side of the transversal. They call this line that cuts the parallel lines a transversal. So there's one pair that's making the F. This pair with the cross also makes the F. If we go over here on the other side, I'll put another pair. So here's one at the top, and I need to be on the same side of the transversal, but either both above or both below parallel lines. That one would more make like a back to front F if we were going to follow that F idea. Now, if the F idea doesn't help you, don't think about the Fs. But if it does help you, there's an F. Now, that is 4 pairs of corresponding angles. So corresponding angles in parallel lines are, oh, wrong pen. What are they? They are equal if they are in parallel lines. Okay, so now sometimes the parallel lines can get moved upside down, but it doesn't matter. Here is still, that's one set of corresponding angles there. Okay, they're both above, there's the parallel lines. They're on the same side of the transversal and they're just above, or we still have them below. Or you could go over here, there's ones just above, and there's still these ones here that are just below. So there are 4 pairs of corresponding angles in parallel lines. Okay, that's one set there. Now here's another one. Here's the parallel lines. It sort of turns sideways. There's still, they're corresponding. These ones down here are corresponding. Okay, there's more there. They are all equal if they're in parallel lines. Over here, have a look. What happens if we do the corresponding angles when they're not in parallel lines? These angles, despite the arrows, which I don't approve of, these are not parallel lines. Okay, they're clearly not parallel lines. Let's have a look at one set of corresponding angles. That angle, I'll call it A, and this angle I'll call B. Do they look like they're the same? Absolutely not. Okay, they are not equal if they're in parallel lines. Okay, so what you need to concentrate on is corresponding angles in parallel lines are equal.